This is the power base of someone like Trump. And when Obama was in, I belonged to quite a few organizations, and I remember sometimes we go to sessions, meetings, and people will say things blatantly, to let you know that they do not think that someone like Obama, because of his color, should have even come close to where he was. So to me, I kept saying right from the beginning, I kept telling everybody in the house that this guy is going to win.
Okay. Wow, that's really interesting. But I do feel you on that point. They say all politics is local.
It's local, yeah.
Yeah. So irrespective of what is going on the national stage, the national politics, really, if you want to measure the pulse of politics, I mean, in reality,
go to the locality.
Yes, yeah, that's right. And in the local places, it's the local talk show host who really has the influence, not like the national guys. So I think I can understand that point. All right, Dr. Obadele,
yes.
let me. Were you in Ghana when the last election was taking place?
Yes. I actually moved to Ghana right before Obama came into office, and I haven't been back to the U.S. since.
Okay.
Nor do I plan on setting foot on U.S. soil again, so that should give you some sense.
Oh, hold on. You said you don't think you'll ever set foot there?
Yeah, that's my goal, that's my intention,
right,
to never set foot on U.S. soil again, so I actually don't even visit the U.S. Embassy for that reason.
Huh, that's an interesting way to start this interview. Can you give us a reason why? Maybe it might tie into some of the things we'll talk about later.
Well, broadly speaking, if you think about America, you can think about the country that was founded on the genocide of one people and the enslavement of another people. So genocide in terms of the almost complete annihilation and extermination of the indigenous people there, and then enslavement of, as we know, the black people primarily there, which has not ended. If you look at the 13th Amendment, it says that slavery shall not exist within these United States except for punishment of a crime whereas that party has been duly convicted. And that was an intentional caveat, because right after that you had convict leasing, where they would have things such as the pig felony. If a white man says you stole a pig, then it's a felony and you have to go and work for free, lay railroad tracks, drain swamps, dig tons of coal per day. So all of this, anytime that it's time to harvest cotton, now this is after so-called enslavement, there's a crime wave. We have to go arrest all the black people for loitering. So this was very intentional, and even if you read interviews from those who operated that system, they say we have to keep black people in close to a state of servitude as possible. Now, to tie this into what we're talking about, we have to look at things historically, especially if we're looking at, the rise of Trump. Now, there's a psychologist by the name of Dr. Amos Wilson, and speaking back in the 1980s, he was speaking about something similar to what Dr. Robert was mentioning, where at that time you had mayors like Marion Barry, you had Andrew Young, and people were saying, oh, it's a dawn of a new era. Look, we finally have this. And he was saying that people who think this obviously are not familiar with history, because if you look at the Hayes-Tilden Compromise, we're talking about 1877, you had the Reconstruction period, you had everyone saying, oh, this is a new dawn, a new period. So you had PBS Pinchback as governor, you had Hiram R. Revels as the first senator, all of these things, and people were saying, oh, this is a dawn of a new era. Again, you had the swing to the other side, and you had all types of lynching and violence after this Tilden Compromise, where the troops of the North were pulled out of the South, and red summer after red summer, lynching after lynching, and we have all this documented, of course. So what he was saying in the 80s is that you have to be very careful, because right after that you had Clinton coming in, and people think, oh, Clinton is so great, but that's the 3 strikes law, that's the racial disparity, that's what Michelle Alexander talks about, the new Jim Crow, the rise of the re-enslavement of black people through privatized prisons, so forth and so on. So the exact same phenomenon that you had then is what you have now. Now, even if you look at Obama coming in, when Obama came in, I said, okay, there goes the revolution. Because basically, think about it in
terms
of...
So you had hope in Obama?
At all, zero. That's why I moved to Ghana at the time. I said, this is done. Because when I look at Obama, I looked at it as analogous to, let's say we have a plantation. Now, anytime they want to put in their harshest policies, they'll put a black face on it. So now you have a black overseer. You say, okay, now the whipping will be less. No, it will be more. If you have a white and a black cop who pull you over, you better be afraid of the black cop, because he's going to out-white the white cop even. There's a proverb in Yoruba. It says, "Nibati ake wonu igbo, ọ̀kan nínú wọn igi sọ pé ẹ wò, eku rẹ̀ ló jẹ ọ̀kan nínú wa." And it translates to, when the axe entered the forest, one of the trees said, "Look, the handle is one of us." When the axe entered the forest, one of the trees said, "Look, the handle is one of us."